Hello, I did a bad thing. I started the stream live so I would be live on time, but then I went to the bathroom. I was like, I don't want to be late and go to the bathroom before I hit the live button and thus have people be like, oh, he's late. So instead, I just like, it's like I showed up at the office, turned on my computer, and then went to go pee. But my computer was on at 9:00 sharp. I used to do that. I'll admit I had a Hey, first up, before I get into this anecdote, you're absolutely right. Most streamers are like, I'm going live. Well, sometimes they don't even have like a time. Some days it's like 6 a.m., some days it's like 9 p.m. They have like a half-hour intro screen where like a bunch of 3D text spins around and then it plays like some kind of Monster Cat royalty-free EDM song, highlights of their best clips and stuff like that. I'm not trying to put Dan on blast. Chib does that. Honestly, I've never been to the start of a Chib stream because he starts streaming in the afternoon. I'm on like peak YouTube plus baby time then. I always get there like an hour in, or sometimes like 6 hours in. But I used to do that at work when I had a summer job in university. I would walk to work. Usually I'd be like 10 minutes early. I'd sit down at my desk for 10 minutes when 9 a.m. rolled around. Go straight to the bathroom. I feel like in an 8-hour workday at an office. Look, I would love to say we're all adults and you should just go to the bathroom as much as you need to go to the bathroom. But I think my internal warning was always like, if I spend more than 30 minutes in the bathroom over the course of a day, people are going to start to ask questions. Like, I feel like you could take easily a 10-minute bowel movement without causing problems. I think you could possibly take 2. Yes, that's when I beat Mega Man 2 on my flip phone. Or sorry, my slide phone. -2? What's the -2 for? I'm not being the boss and saying like you should have a limited amount of bathroom breaks. I'm saying from the perspective of an employee, I always thought like if I spend more than half an hour in the bathroom per day, my boss is going to start to be like, we got to see you in my office. You're perpetuating a culture of fear? Honestly, good. Maybe that's why the world's so fucked up these days. People, they aren't afraid enough. They're so brazen. You see all these people jaywalking? It's raining. The sun goes down at 3:16. Stone Cold Steve Austin PM every day. They're wearing all black rain gear, jaywalking. Maybe it's time for the people to remember what it's like to be afraid. Also, yeah, if your boss calls you into their office, just say, I have bowel issues. And if they say, what bowel issue? You say, this is a HIPAA violation for you to even ask me that. It's illegal for you to ask me that. Like on The Office, you know? Okay, what about this one? Anal fissures. That's a real thing. Yeah, but nobody here has it. Someone does. Can I use you as legal advice? I want to reform the Western court system, okay? Here's what I think would benefit. You know how like every trial, I mean, if it's serious enough, they have a jury of your peers. I think even when there's no jury trial, there should just be like one normal guy in the courtroom who's not a lawyer, has no legal training, not a judge, and is not involved with the case at all. But before the judge can render their verdict, the guy gets to give his take and be like, look, I'm sure maybe legally speaking, what the defendant did was not, by the book, but simultaneously he's like a real world translator. He's like, in the real world, sometimes you gotta, put your four-way flashers on and park in something that's not a parking spot just so you can put an envelope into a mailbox. And he was only going to be out of the car for 3 seconds. You're going to give him a moving violation? Plus, how does it make sense that there's a moving violation if his car was stopped? So, ergo, I'm not saying we shouldn't punish them, but at the same time, we should just one person who lives in the normal world. Just not to like choose the punishment, but just to give the normie take. Will he always advocate for the accused? No, if anything, I'm actually realizing that like my hunch is that actually most people are extremely bloodthirsty, and especially the kinds of people who like maybe would volunteer for stuff like this would be like they stole a bag of potato chips, like sliced their arms off. You ever see the comments on like a local newspaper whenever they're like, hey, somebody got a DUI and he got, 2 years in prison. They're like, they should have shot him with a gun. They should have hit him in the stomach with a cannonball. That's how we did it back in my day. I would not put jaywalkers on death row. Here's what I would do. I would say, okay, you love jaywalking so much? Here's Highway 1, the Trans-Canada Highway. It's 8:46 a.m., 4 lanes in each direction. If you can make it to the other side, you're off scot-free. If you're too scared to cross, 10 years. If you get hit on the way, then we'll call it even. You just killed him? No, I said he didn't have to cross. If he doesn't cross, then he can do the time. Oh, you love to jaywalk, huh? Yet you won't jaywalk across the busiest highway in British Columbia at rush hour? A little hypocritical, kind of problematic. I try to have consistent principles, but not everybody holds themselves to that same ethical standard, I suppose. Really makes you think. There'd be 456 jaywalkers at a time. Is that a Squid Game reference? My favorite show? This is the judicial equivalent of forcing your kid to smoke a carton of cigarettes. Yeah, that's why I think it's so effective. I mean, honestly, if people were good at jaywalking, it wouldn't annoy me because I wouldn't even notice it. It's only like when people are ass at jaywalking and they're like, oops, I only looked one way, huh? But don't care, didn't ask, plus you shouldn't be driving a car anyway. If they were good at it and they like sprinted across the intersection, I wouldn't have anything to concern myself with. I would just get on with my day. Anyway, that's all I got. Today, we're going to play Wikitrivia, which was suggested in my Discord last night. It is a game, in the loosest sense of the word, where basically you get a timeline from the dawn of Earth to, I don't even know if it can go into the future, but until at least the present day, and you get a data point. So maybe it'll start with like, what year did World War I start? You'd be like, it just gives you the year to start with, but you'd be like 1914. Then it'll be like, what year was Pope Gregory the 11th born? And you'll be like, I don't know, but it's definitely before 1914. So you would like put it to the left of that on the timeline. And then as you get more and more right, all of a sudden you're like, when the hell did Leonardo da Vinci paint the Mona Lisa? I'm pretty sure that it's before Henry VIII, but maybe it's after the invention of the Welsh longbow? Yeah, it's like higher or lower, but history. It's like Card Sharks, but history. So let's give it a try, shall we? Why do I always do this shit, man? I explain the concept of the game. Now I gotta re-explain the concept of the game because I'm gonna put it in the clip. Now I got a slash marker. I gotta basically re-explain the exact premise of the... Oh, you know what it's the worst part about it is I made fun of streamers for always repeating things twice. True, that's pretty true, so true. And then I'm doing it myself just by not designing this system properly. Yeah, now I'm even repeating myself into the... I don't even know where that's coming from, man. Where is this coming from? Okay, that's that tab right there. Okay, jeez. Good Lord. Yeah, people have accused me of hosting an echo chamber before, but not literally. Now I spilled some dang water on my shirt and everything. That's all right. It's just water. It's all good. Editing is boring. So true. So true. Okay. Slash marker. Wikitrivia. All right. So I literally just explained what this game is. Okay. But Wikitrivia, you know what? The easiest way to explain it is let's just hit start game and you'll see for yourself, okay? So you get a data point on a timeline. This is Leinster House, a building housing the Parliament of Ireland. Apparently that was built in 1748. We get a Wikipedia card. We have to choose when this happened. Did it happen after the creation of Leinster House or before? Song Hye-kyo, South Korean actress. I'm going to say that, just to me, I don't mean anything by this, she doesn't look 274 years old, in this photo at least. I'm going to say that she was probably born after. The QWERTY keyboard layout. I'm going to assume that this was before the actress was born. 1878? I actually had no idea. I would have thought that it was like the 1960s maybe. But I guess on typewriters. I didn't know what a typewriter in the 1800s was QWERTY. Thought it would have been like calligraphy or something. Okay, Boccaccio, Italian author and poet, gotta be the earliest. Classical antiquity, the age of the ancient Greeks and Romans, even earlier. Still even earlier. Bleak House by Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens was alive in the 19th century, but I'm going to say that this predates QWERTY. T.S. Eliot. He's in a photograph, which means this is probably the early 20th century. I think it's just after QWERTY. Poland. Now, this is an interesting one because in Europe, countries get... You know, there used to be a duchy, it used to be a kingdom, it used to be a commonwealth. But I'm going to say Poland as a country must... I feel like it's after antiquity. Nah, what? That's... Excuse me. So, what? 1918? What was it before 1918? Was it the Poland-Lithuania Commonwealth, Bohemia? It was part of Prussia for... Well, yeah, well, okay, it was part of Prussia for a while, but it was also Poland in like the triple digits, right? Like before the 10th century? Haven't there been like 9 reiterations of Poland? This one is... Okay, look, I'm just... How could they have a Poland-Lithuania Commonwealth in the age of discovery if there wasn't a Poland to begin with? It just kind of strikes me as a trick question. I'm not a hater. I wouldn't argue with my teacher if I got this wrong on the test. I would just, when you get 99%, you can afford to take one loss. But It hurts. Okay. So the Sui dynasty. My Chinese history is not particularly good, but you know, it's got a rich storied history. I'm going to say it's either before or after antiquity. Let's go before. Close. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with the screen region here as we get more things going on, okay? The Northern Mariana Islands, an American-dependent insular area in the Western Pacific. Okay, this flag looks like it was designed by Dwight Eisenhower, so I'm going to try to place us into like the 40s. 1898, okay? My mistake. The Lonely Island, this is the early 2000s they formed. So they're going to be up here. That's an easy one. Carmina Burana manuscript. I'm going to be honest with you. I have no concept of what this is. It's Italian, it seems. This text looks like the Canterbury Tales to me. So I'm going to pull it back. I'm going to say this is... It's either before or after Boccaccio. I'm going to say before. Oh! Japheth, biblical figure, son of Noah. Okay, so we're going like way back. Pringles. Pringles strike me as a food that would have been invented in the 50s. 1867? They're older than T.S. Eliot? I had no idea, man. They're like twice as old as Poland, man. I had no clue. Okay, we got 10. Let's try again. I thought we did pretty well there. The Prime Minister of Denmark was established in 1848. I'm going to say the Black Crows were founded after that. The Lewis and Clark expedition overland to the Pacific coast was well in advance of 1848. Philip II of Spain, well in advance. I.G. Farben, this is a tough one. I'm going to have to imagine that this was founded in the 1800s. I'm going to say it's newer than the Prime Minister of Denmark. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, born... I'm going to say he's 7 years older than me. I'm going to say this is 1981. Holy shit. Little Red Riding Hood, European fairy tale. It's got to be old. I'm going to say it predates Lewis and Clark, but is after Philip II. Wow! Okay. When was Hirschsprung's disease, a congenital disorder of the digestive system, discovered? That's impossible. I'm going to say it's between Denmark and I.G. Farben. When was Assyria? Certainly before 1000. One of China's 4 great classical novels, Journey to the West. I'm going to say it's pre-1000. All right. The Call of Cthulhu. This is hard, man. We only got 1 life left. The Call of Cthulhu would have been from maybe the 1930s. Okay. Japanese shogunate would have been, I think this is like the 1300s. I'm bad. It ended in that. Oh, I didn't look at ended. I thought maybe it was started, but okay, fair enough. Ended. That's why you got to read. Okay, the Quran, 631. The Mughal Empire is post-Quran. The biblical figure of Daniel is pre. Schweppes, I'm going to guess that Schweppes ginger ale is probably more recently created than the Mughal Empire. Speaker of the House of Commons is interesting to think about. The first British prime ministers maybe would have been in the 1600s. I think I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to say it predates Schweppes. 1377? You had a parliament since 1377? Since the Magna Carta. Holy cow, I didn't even know, man. Tom Sawyer, fictional human. Must have been born in the 1860s. Victoria Eugenie of Battenberg, the Queen Consort of Spain. This is a tough one because she looks like she's around Tom Sawyer's vintage. But let's assume that this is 1870s daguerreotype photography. She looks like she could be in her late 30s. That puts her so close to the Tom Sawyer, man. I'm going to say that she's a little bit younger than Tom Sawyer. Just 50 years. Okay. When was the Queen Amman cake from Brittany discovered? Brittany has a rich history. I'm going to say that it predates the Quran. Oh, 1860? This looks like a cake to me that they would make like in the pre-Roman times. Just to be honest. It's Brittany, bitch. The Sahih Muslim, a book by Muslim Ibn al-Hajjaj. Post-Quran? Judith beheading hollow ferns, a painting by Caravaggio. This has got to be the 15 to 1700s. Brandenburg, Prussia created probably the 1600s. Oh, Scotland Yard created after Jack the Ripper in the 18s. Oh, okay. Though we're getting close, though. I think we can knock off this 14 streak. We were in there. We were off by one or two places. Okay. We can PB here. New Netherlands colony. Carnatic music, I'm going to say predates. Park Shin-hee must be less than 412 years old. Trans-Siberian Railway should be the 1800s. Well, officially open. That's why you got to read. Hamilcar Barca, we're looking at, closer to the year zero there. Michael Collins, born after 1903. Oh! Korean War, 1953. The jazz singer. We don't speak about this film anymore, but surely this has to be in this range right here. What the heck is Elder Futhark? A system of runes for Proto-Germanic? Elder Futhark predates Hamilcar Barca. It has elder in the name. How could it not be older? Aaron. There's a person in the Bible named Aaron with 2 A's. I mean, anything biblical is like way back here. A political party within the Indian Empire. So we're talking like pre-20th century India. I would put it between 1609 and 1890. Oh, peace. This is a tough one, man. Niels Bohr, born 1885. Skull and Bones, older. Saint Roche, older. Tetanus vaccine, the newest. Viking Age, ended, I don't know, 1,000. David Dewan, I'm going to say he's not 100 years old. Ben Johnson, isn't he a sprinter? This dude looks slow as hell. I could beat this guy in a foot race, but I guess athletes were just built different. This collar speaks, this is pilgrim times between 1295 and 1832. So easy. Alfonso X of Castile. I'm going to be honest. This looks like, he looks like a 1200s Marty to me. I'm going to put it here. Daniel Gabriel Fahrenheit. Well, they didn't take a photo. They simply drew him in the family circus style. So I would say that he's in between Ben Jonson and the Skull and Bones. Lauren Bacall, probably born in the 1890s. I was way off, but I'll take it. Maurice Chevalier. This photo looks like it's from the 40s, and he looks 45. I'm a genius. Rehoboam, king of the kingdom of Judah. We're going all the way back here. Okay, now I'm not a good art guy. I have no idea when Claude Monet lived. I'm going to guess it's the 1700s because that's the century of art in my mind. 1872. Okay, fair enough. Usain Bolt, let's work backwards before we try to anchor to some kind of year. Okay, I mean, he's going to be the newest probably. I would say as of right now, I'm 33. He kicked off in the 2008 Olympics. I'm going to say that he was born in 1986. The Trial by Franz Kafka. We got to be looking at early to mid 20th century. I'm going to say post-tetanus just to max my odds. Oh. One life. I have no idea. Buffalo Soldier Field Army. This looks like American Civil War era. Let's say 1860s. Oh, okay. Ogham. Early medieval writing style. Okay. So medieval is the fall of Rome, which is in like the 400s. Early medieval is maybe in this 2,000-year block right here. Okay. The Paraguayan War, large-scale conflict in South America. I see no photographs. I only see paintings. I'm going to say this is the 1800s at some point. I'm going to say it's in between Skull and Bones and Buffalo Soldier. Tied the streak. Tied the streak. Okay. Couple of good guesses there. I love when you have like a 2,000-year period in the middle, man. That helps out a lot. We can beat 14. The Gupta Empire. I'm going to say Peter Drucker is newer. Bluebeard French folktale. This looks, I'm going to say this is 1100s. The Fugees probably created in the mid-1980s. Trevi Fountain in Rome. It's got to be after the Gupta Empire. Well, I was right, but wrong. 1735, I legit thought it was from pre-1000, to be honest with you. That wasn't built in the Roman times? Bayer. Anytime I see an old company, I'm always like 1800s. It's got to be like the dawn of the Industrial Revolution. We had Hirschsprung's disease. I don't remember when it was discovered. I believe it was the late 1800s. Francia. So we're looking at maybe 700, 800 here. Sure. Merriam-Webster. I'm going to say that predates Bayer. Belarusian language. East Slavic language that originated in Belarus. This is a tricky one. Anytime I hear language, though, I'm always like, come on, man. It's got to be early, right? 1517? I bet there were people speaking it pre-320. It just only got written down in 1517. It's language. How could they, people like they weren't talking in Belarus at 1517? Like one guy just woke up and he was like, hello. I don't think so. Dao Guang Emperor, the Qing Dynasty Chinese emperor, was born in this 1,000-year period. Oh, that's hell. Start me again. Okay, the Battle of the Chosun Reservoir, 1950. Le Mort d'Arthur, literary work, predates it. The native inhabitants of the Canary Islands ended. All right, well, that's a bit of a bummer. It must be in the age of discovery, so I'm going to say 20? I assumed it would have been, European colonization. Ottoman Sultan. This is a tough one for me. When did the Ottoman Empire come to fruition? There's it was Byzantium. There was a lot of fighting. There was a schism, if I recall. I think, historically speaking, most of the Ottoman Empire takes place after 1485. Louis the 13th. This is not my area of expertise. Based on the modeled iron of his armor, I would say this is a 1500s and onwards king. The Secret Garden must be in between these. Melchizedek. Died, we must be talking about pretty early. The Kushan Empire. I'm trying to look at the map here. So what is it close to? I have no idea. Okay, it's northwest of India. I feel like it's in between negative 2020. Oh my God. 30? That's a trick and an insult. What the heck is Bolt's man brain? Boltzmann brain hypothesis? This dude's isn't the name of the guy from Ghost in the Shell Bazoo? Like Monbazoo? This guy looks like Bazoo right now, for real. What's his name? Batu. Okay, whatever. All right. This has got 1800s written all over it. The Imitation of Christ is a tough one to gain context clues because it's a photo of an old book. But this looks pre-printing press to me. Yeah, okay, of course. Theogony, a poem by Hesiod. I don't know. It sounds like it could be roughly Greek. Let's toss it just after Melchizedek. Tesco the business strikes me as a maybe like this is a tough one, man. An early 20th century thing. Okay. The Royal Opera House. What a beautiful building that appears to be built in the 1700s. The Turkish Navy. I'm going to say that this is from after 1919 but before 1950. 1081? Wasn't it the Ottoman Empire? So Poland didn't exist until 1918, but the Turkish Navy existed in 1081. Okay. That's just a lie. Don't even get me started on the Pringles. Okay, the Dust Bowl, 1936. Bad start because We're really good in the 20th century. We need more delineations pre-20th century. Okay. Frederick the Great, King of Prussia, 1500s. 9mm pistol ammo. The Battle of Iwo Jima. This is like 1944. Whatever. Sun Tzu, way back. Good start. The Qajar dynasty, Iranian royal dynasty. I'm going to say that's in the middle of the... Al-Khaznet, the treasury. I'm going to say it's between these two. Okay, thank God. Citric acid, discovered. When was chemistry popping off? I feel like it's around here. Oh my God, I was off by 1 year. Come on, man. MG cars. Okay, I mean, this has got, I'm going to say just before the ammo. Oh my, don't even talk to me about that one. Alexandra Fedorovna, Alex of Hesse, wife and consort of Nicholas II of Russia. Okay, fair enough. Electromagnets discovered prior. The Ling Chi execution method, much prior. So this is not a diet of worms, okay? I'm familiar with this. This is like, isn't this one of those councils that they had where they were like, what font should we use in the Bible? Calibri or Times New Roman? It's something like that. It's in that vicinity. So I think that they were, in the medieval period, they really concerned themselves with a lot of semantics. So I think it's 900 to 1825. Wait, I know what Rotary is. It's so you'll always be like driving through like the suburbs and it'll be like the Rotary Club. Tough one. I'm gonna say maybe here. That's fair. That's a tough one. Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin popped off in the late 1960s. He's probably born in 1946. Henry III of England. We're going post Battle of Hastings. Dee Snider from Twisted Sister, probably roughly. Oh, this is tough. Who's older, Jimmy Page or Dee Snider? Well, Dee Snider was famous more in the 80s, so I'm just going to err on the side of that. Jean Valjean, the fictional character in Les Miserables. This takes place during the French Revolution, right? So I'm going to say they must have been born around here. Elagabalus? This dude legit looks like a chatter. I'm just going to say it. Roman Emperor period, definitely pre-900. The Reichstag fire decree. Probably as, like 1936 maybe. Aerosmith, probably created in late 1960s. Hyundai, I think that before they made cars, they made other machines. I'm going to say that this is probably, I bet it's pre-World War II, interestingly enough. I'm gonna say it's like, man, you know what? I don't know. This is a tough one for me. Because pre-Korean War, Korea was not that industrialized. And then they rapidly industrialized after. But that doesn't mean Hyundai wasn't around making, tractors and stuff. So I'm going to say it sneaks in right here. 1967! Holy cow. I was way off. But I said a lot of smart stuff on the way to getting it wrong. The Almoravid dynasty, the Berber dynasty that once ruled over Al-Andalus and Morocco. This is how I lose. Created in this period. This is the French military. Oh, man. I don't know. French police. Somewhere between 1769, 1825. Okay. The combined military forces of North Korea. Well, this is the Korean War happened 1950 to 1953. So you'd think maybe it's in here. Okay. The First Philippine Republic. Now this is twisted, man, because I don't know what republic they're on right now, and this is historical country. I feel like maybe we're looking at like 1825 to 1872. You piece. Yeah, I was trying to think of after the Spanish-American War, but I couldn't remember if that's before or after the American Civil War. We're close. We're close. I feel like I'm learning. I'm feeling like I'm getting better. The Sabatier reaction. Oh, of course, the methanation process of carbon dioxide with hydrogen. Prism must be after. Boy George. Is Boy George alive? Boy George must have been born in the early 1950s. Hans Christian Ørsted. This looks like this is 30p. This is at least like 60p. Vikings started, oh, I mean, we're going back to like, I don't know, 600. Stoicism, I mean, we're going even further back. The tomb of the Virgin Mary. The building itself, I'm going to be honest, that looks old as dirt. But it must be in between, right? Okay, never mind. Declaration of Independence Trumbull. A painting of John Trumbull. I mean, that's crazy because it looks kind of like George Washington. Now, here's the fucked up thing. Obviously, the Declaration of Independence in the U.S. was signed in 1776. We got one on here that's 1777. I feel like people took a long time to paint back then. So this could have taken like 2 years or 40. Justin Theroux. It's deceptive because he's an actor who's been handsome for a long time. He was handsome in the second Charlie's Angels movie, which came out in 2003. He was probably 25 then. I'm going to say he was born in 1978. Look at this guy's 51 years old. He's still, he's gaslighting me to this day. That's crazy, man. How do you remember that? If you saw Charlie's Angels 2, you would remember. Because he's like, there's a scene where he like breaks out of prison with his shirt off and he's got like a 12-pack. And then the Prodigy's I'm Your Fire Starter, Twisted Fire Starter is playing and the camera's going all like, it's a very memorable scene. Okay, I mean, this is 1867. Shelley Winters. Photo presumably from the 30s. She's 30. That's a tough one, though. I'm going to say that she slightly predates the Sabatier reaction. Not even close. That is from the 50s. Pictures at an exhibition. Suite for piano in 10 movements by Modest Mussorgsky. Isaac Brock circa the... sometime in this incredible... What? 1874? Why'd they draw him so weird? Modest Mouse legit been around forever. I mean, the further back you go, the better their stuff gets. So this must be like poppin', man. Tale of Ragnar's Sons. Legendary saga from Iceland. Okay, this church looks older than Iceland. Oh my God. The ground sloth ended, I don't know, probably like 100,000 years ago. Liberty leading the people. Okay, this is a French painting. Must be from the French Revolution. Louis VIII of France. Minus 5,000? It's a painting, relax. Louis VIII of France. Look at how old this guy is on the coin, man. King of French. He's the 8th. He's got to be like in here. Roseanne, I'm throwing. I don't want this on my screen anymore. Get out of here. Peloponnesian War and Trojan War. This shit fucks me up, dude. This is fucking me up. So I know the Peloponnesian War was between Athens and Sparta. The Trojan War was between Troy and Brian Cox of HBO's smash hit Succession. This has got to be early. This is antediluvian, man. Okay. HIV was discovered in the late 80s. Ravidas the philosopher. This legit looks like a Facebook profile photo. So it's hard for me to tell. I'm going to say it's post 404. Sky Jackson, I'm going to say probably born in like, I don't know, 2008. What? 2002? That's not a 20-year-old? Are you crazy? She's like 7. Schneider Electric, France-based multinational corporation. Well, this is tough. Probably here. Lucky we got that early. John III Sobieski, the King of Poland and Grand Duke of Lithuania. Oh, so this must be post-1918. Because if it weren't, then he wouldn't be the King of Poland. He would be the King of Prussia, right? Or he would be the King of Brandenburg or Bohemia or something like that. He'd be the King of, I don't even know, some kind of like single province, Livonia or something like that. This is the 1500s. Stoicism. It's more, this is tough, man. After the Peloponnesian War. Bell Beaker culture? What the heck? Archaeological culture. It's got to be way back then. Join or Die, political cartoon. This is a cartoon about the U.S. Civil War, so it should be from the mid to 1850s to 1860s. What? Oh no, it's not the Civil War, it's the Commonwealth or the Revolution. The Donner Party is a group of, it does say Ben Franklin. What the hell? Donner Party. They ate each other when they came upon hard times. From westward expansion. War of Jenkins' Ear. Conflict between Great Britain and Spain. The War of Jenkins' Ear. Yeah. They had England and Spain had a lot of reasons to fight, between like 1300 and like 1800. Unfortunately, we got a very crowded space here. They have not, as of yet, discovered the western and northwestern parts of the American continent according to this map. So let's put it a little earlier. Let's put it in between Ravidas and John Sobieski. That hurts. That hurts me. The Big Ten Conference. That's got to be in the middle here. Wells Fargo, the bank. I believe that Wells Fargo has a covered wagon as their logo, which would indicate to me that they were a bank around the pioneer days of the United States of America. So I'm going to be insane and say this is in the 10-year period between Schneider Electric and the Donner Party. So freaking close. To have to make a play like that is tough. Through on Benjamin Franklin. That's true. I need to read all the data. I'm going to assume Tulsi Gabbard, who ran in the 2020 election, was born in 1976. London Gazette, that's got to go way back, man. Eric, he's staring into my soul. He looks like somebody. So this is in between these two. That's a given. Who does he look like? Is it Coulson from the Avengers? I think this This is Agent Coulson from the Avengers, man. He's freaking me out. If you covered his hair, that's Agent Coulson. Just different glasses. He does not look like Rivers Cuomo. They just have the same frames. I could see Michael Bolton, for sure. I could definitely see Michael Bolton. Looks nothing at all like him. I mean, you got to look at the other people in chat who are just like, he looks like Anderson Cooper. This guy doesn't look like Anderson Cooper at all. Richard Gere? Okay, look, I'll be honest. I can see Richard Gere slightly if his hairline was a little bit less receded. I can see William Fichtner as well. But I'm telling you, this is the eyes are Agent Coulson. This is a young Agent Coulson. Anyway, you're here for sure. Oxford has got to be like old as hell. Like, I think it might predate 1665. Lagertha? So when was Lagertha born? That's tough. Lagertha sounds like they're from an Icelandic saga to me. They're dressed in what appears to be Viking garb. They could be born whenever. They could have had them born in like the year 3000 for all I know. But I'm going to say is a little earlier, okay? Chromium, certainly the newest. Lyudmila Pavlichenko, Soviet sniper. So she's a sniper, presumably in the Second World War. Just think about maybe like 1942. She's 20. She's born 1922. We don't have to be right as long as we're close. The Arch of Titus. Probably Titus? I don't know, maybe. This has got to be pre-1000. Alia iacta est. Phrase. Created. How am I supposed to know this, man? This is just a sponge. It's Latin. This sounds... Look, I'm going to play the odds. Well, what are the odds? Are the odds this 920-year period? Or are the odds this infinite length period right here? I don't know. I'm going to put it here. It just... son of a bitch! Okay. The National Assembly of France, the lower house, definitely in the middle. Royal Air Force of England. It's got to be... This is a tough one, to be honest with you, because it could easily be here. It could also be here. It's probably not here. They probably, started doing... I mean, they were doing, like, surveillance balloons in World War I. And then I think they even got, like, some, like... surveillance planes as well, but it's got to predate it, right? 1918? Really? Is that an Air Force? It's a force in the air. I honestly thought it was going to be between 1900 and 1912. That was my bet. You're telling me they had planes before they had an Air Force? Like, I mean, they had planes. I guess, but prior to that, they were just like lumped in with the rest of the military. Okay. So they were the Royal Flying Corps in World War I. See, it's a semantic difference. People are like, how could you not guess that it would be 1918? And I'm like, well, they had a Royal Air Force. It was just called something different like 2 years earlier. Anyway, the Andrews sisters. I mean, this is pre-Motown. We got a nice little juicy window there. Loyola Marymount University, a Jesuit university in Los Angeles. This looks like late 1800s to me. Is one? iZone? I mean, this is... we got to be looking at like 2016. The Governor General of India, the Viceroy of British India. Let's put that in the 16... I'm going to err on the side of 1665 to 1858. Wow, I was ended! That's why they tell you to read every question thoroughly before you circle an answer. House of Bourbon. Okay. The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. That's like the 1910s. Anglo-Mysore Wars. So this is one of the wars England fought with like India. It said ended. Elizabeth Bennet, Pride and Prejudice character. Jane Austen was active in the 1800s. We must be looking at something like that. Cornell University, that's where Andy Bernard went. I'm going to say founded after 1800. Diageo, alcoholic beverages company. Is this in Brazil? Am I crazy or is this in Brazil? Scotland. Okay, you just gave me a huge clue. That being said, it's tough because again, I wonder if there's not like a semantic difference because I'm sure like in Scotland, you know, Glenfiddich or something like that has been brewing scotch for. It's not brewing, but you get the idea. Making scotch for like 1,000 years or something like that. But was it under the umbrella of some multinational conglomerate that also makes, you know, probably like Brava beer? Probably not. So I'm going to say this probably sprung up in the 1900s. I'm taking a lark. I'm saying post 1920. 1997! Okay, Beethoven, I don't really know when he was working, but I think he's around here. The Hound of the Baskervilles. I feel like Arthur Conan Doyle was in the 1865 to 1920 region. The Telltale Heart, they're really testing my literary skills here. The Telltale Heart, it says 1842. It says 1842 on the freaking thing. I'm taking everything. If you're gonna rip me off on some of these, I'm gonna use all the available information, okay? Kinkakuji. I've been there. Zen Buddhist temple in Kyoto, Japan. This shit is made of literal gold. It must be after 1272. The People Power Revolution. So that is the flag of the Philippines. This is a tough one, man. Ended. I'm going to be honest with you, that doesn't make much of a difference for me. I have a hard time placing this in a century, to be honest with you. I'm gonna say that this is pre like 19. Yeah, I'm gonna say 1902 to 1920, 1986. Not even close. Billy Porter looks like a 60-year-old man in a photo from 2015. Let's say 1955. Sorry, didn't mean to insult you. Battle of Iwo Jima, 1945. University of Oxford. That's way back. Did we have that one before and I got it wrong? A Hulu original, Love Victor. American romantic comedy television series. Gonna say that started post 1997. Emma Stone. I bet she's 2 years older than me. Let's. Oh, but that puts it on 1986. Emma Stone, famous for Superbad, 2007, where she was probably 20. I'm taking a heavy lark. I'm saying she's 1 year older than me. Oh, she's the same age. Oh man. When you take the very narrow slice of the pie and you get it right, Colts Manufacturing Company. It's got to be 1800s. I'm going to take a big slice. Oh my God. Excuse me? Age 69? This one's bugged. It's 69. You're telling me the Coles Manufacturing Company existed, you know, in the Roman Empire? I find that hard to believe. What the hell were they making? Garum? I don't understand. It's broken. Okay. That book by Nabokov, Hadrian was like the 200s. Rose McGowan, probably born early 1970s. Nazi book burnings. We're going to say that this is 1936. The Royal Game of Ur, pre-Hadrian. San Quentin State Prison, probably created post 1950? That 1852. Holy cow. Korea under Japanese rule. Okay. It's happened a few times. I feel like the obvious one is in like the 1930s. So I'm going to try that. 19, okay, that's my bad. AOL, certainly from early 90s. Take Two, probably after AOL. I Have a Dream speech would be from the 60s. Philip Sidney, the English poet. What the hell is this guy wearing? That is why I love Dark Souls fashion. Because it just looks like what people wore to get painted in like the 1600s. You got to be in this big little chunk right there. Lenin's mausoleum. I just feel like Lenin died in like the late 20s, the early 30s. No, late in the 20s. Yankee Doodle, a well-known Anglo-American song. This shit is carved in stone. Someone wasted a week of work carving the lyrics to Yankee Doodle into like a piece of marble. That's so sad. Yankee Doodle went to town upon a little pony. He stuck a feather in his hat and called it macaroni. So true. So true. Oh man. So that's pre 1776 by a little bit. This is 1986. Okay, we're starting to get dupes. This is how we go sicko mode. Dalriada, historical country. I'm going to be honest with you. Looking at this on the map, I cannot tell you where that is. There are fjords. Perhaps it's... No, this letter means we're in South America. I have no concept of this. I am not looking at chat. I don't know what to say. Is this Greenland? I don't know. It's all messed up, man. Maybe it's from the age of discovery. In here. It's okay, so what is it? It's just upside down South America? No. It's Scotland? Anytime you see like this stuff, like you know you're in a place with highlands or fjords or like mangrove trees, one of the three. Thomas Hobbes. It's crazy how Thomas Hobbes, the philosopher, looks like John Locke, the character from Lost. Does nobody else see how messed up this is? I'm pretty sure Thomas Hobbes was from like the 15 to 1700s. Okay, so honest question, is Nosferatu broken? Because like it has no media associated with it, so that scares me. But either way, this is from the early silent film era. Of course, the Holocene, the second and current epoch of the Quaternary period. Mihai Eminescu, Romanian poet, novelist, and journalist. Certainly looks like the late 1800s to me. Bro, That's our best run ever, though. Hey, okay. We got to 15, a new PB. Throw me a slash marker, Wikitrivia, and then we're going to run it back now that we're freaking cracked. I feel like I'm learning a lot. Winged victory of Samothrace. Okay, the 3 kingdoms of Korea was in like the 1000s. Umeå, urban area in Umeå, the municipality of Sweden. See, this is all fucked up. By the way, Sweden, I love your architecture. Like, I aspire to live in a house like this. Look at this cool house, man. I mean, maybe it's not, maybe it's like a library or something like that. I felt, I would not really want to leave Canada, like, as a citizen. I like it here. But when I was in Sweden and when I was in Iceland, I will say it's maybe the closest I felt to, like, this could be a home. Something about the minimalism and like a little light snow, just it feels a little homey. A home across the Atlantic, even though I've spent, I don't know, less than 2 weeks total there. Yeah, also, it's very Vancouverish in Iceland because like a cup of coffee is like $9.75. So like that, I was like, it's like being at home. You travel to America, like a cup of coffee is like $2. You're like, what? $2? What's wrong with it? Okay, anyway, sorry. So who knows, right? Like this shit could have started in like the 600s. I'm going to say it's probably like after. Okay, the Nawabs of Bengal and Murshidabad, former nobility of Bengal and Orissa, present-day India. That's tough. I'm going to say in this 1,000-year period, don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, Jason must be early 2000s. Veuve Clicquot, French Champagne House. That's tough. I'm going to say we're in here, though. The Hague, Municipality of the Netherlands. Dude, these are all tricky. I'm going to say it predates Umeå. Hernan Cortez. Sorry, I just had a schooled flashback. He must be here. J.J. Abrams, I'm going to say born after 1772, but before 2001. Angela Lansbury, before J.J. Abrams. Moby Dick, before Angela Lansbury. Charité, University Hospital in Berlin, Germany. Now, that's a tough one. Now, that is a tough one because I have no idea. I'm going to say it's between Champagne and Moby Dick. I guess I'm stupid. Ramune, a carbonated soft drink. Allow me to be a little North American biased here. I'm going to assume that carbonated soft drinks were introduced to Japan via North American influence that happened after Angela Lansbury, but before J.J. Abrams. Wow, 1884! My mistake. I had no idea. When was Coca-Cola started? It must be around the same time, right? 1886. This predates Coca-Cola. Wow. Year 69. Yeah, Ramune, it tastes good. It's kind of like, is like almost like a candy sort of citrus flavor. But the real thrill is that it comes in a glass bottle with a little marble in it. So you gotta like push on the marble and then it shoots into the bottle and then it fizzes up like crazy. It's not necessarily my scene, but I do like the packaging for sure. Marbles, is Macros here? Matthew Hopkins, English witch hunter, 1620. Italy. This is fucked. I knew it. I want to restart. This shit is fucked, man. You're telling me Italy didn't exist until 1946? It's a question with no judgment. What country did Mussolini lead in the Second World War? What was it called? Previously, it was the kingdom. It's the same shit. What's the difference? That was the kingdom of Italy? Okay, so you still have a kingdom of England, right? The United Kingdom. I guess that's two different things because they got multiple countries in there. I'm just pissed, okay? Whatever. Let's go sicko mode. The Habsburg House, definitely in this region. A yacht race has got to be post 46. The middle child from Modern Family must be born in the mid 1990s. Herbert Spencer. This is honestly Larry David's grandfather. Certainly in there. Mr. T. I bet Mr. T is 70 years old. He was famous for being on the A-Team in the early 80s. Rocky. In the early 80s. He would have been maybe 4. This is tough, man. I'm going to put him here, but he could easily be on the other side. Lewis Hamilton. He has to be like 2 years older than me. Giovanni Pierluigi de Palestrina, Italian Renaissance composer. Okay, let's put him in the Renaissance then. Radio Television of Kosovo. Maybe the 1990s? That's rude, man. It was the 1990s. But it was 1999. I don't trust this guy. This is the type of dude to find a mosquito in encased piece of amber and use it to bring back dinosaurs that were better left at rest. Start trying to create some kind of amusement park because they'd spared no expense. You know what I mean? I don't trust him. He was a goat mathematician. He's got to be in here then. The Bessemer process. This is old as hell. Look at this. Is just an urn and a wheel. I meant to put it. I still would have gotten it wrong, but I meant to put it here, not there. I meant to put it here. Okay, we got screwed on this one. War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. It's so close to 1906. I'm going to say slightly predates it. Acquire. Okay, earlier. The heck? Knock culture. Archaeological means old. Trevi Fountain, 1700s. Okay, we can do this. Ebook, maybe the mid-90s. 1971, the Channel Tunnel was built in the 70s? In the 90s, okay. A wiki. I don't know, man. I feel like a wiki is one of those things that could predate 1993. Oh, my God. Upper Canada. 1400s, 1500s. So, fuck. It does. The ebook is so funny. It looks like they dug up an ebook. Like an archaeologist discovered it and was like, wow, check it out. The world's first ebook. That wasn't a Canada question. It was an Upper Canada question. Okay, Felicity Huffman. I'm going to say, who do you think's older, you the Great or Felicity Huffman? I'm going to say probably you the Great is a little older. École Polytechnique, an engineering school in Montreal. We're going to say much earlier than Felicity Huffman. Chaldea. So I don't know where, I mean, this is the Arabian Peninsula. This is Scythia. So we're looking at like in the negative 500 to 500 region. What the hell is this? Is he in prison? This photo? David Armstrong Jones, the second Earl of Snowdon. Joiner. What the heck does that mean, man? I don't know any joiners in the chat. He looks around the same age as Felicity Huffman, but she is an actress, so she's probably had some work done, which means she might be older and he might look his age. You're actually a piece of garbage. Out of all the historical events you could pull from, you actually like you took two people that I don't even know that were born within like 1 year. Anyway, this is around here. A Dalek. I don't know, man, because Doctor Who is one of those things where I think it's been around for like 10 years, but it's actually been around since like radio was invented. I'm gonna say I was gonna put it here. I'm gonna take the fool's way out. What the hell? Why we're so lucky? Okay, I bet Phoebe Waller-Bridge was born in like '89. Sewing as an activity? As an activity? I'm pissed, man. As a necessity, sure, in the minus 4,000s. As an activity that you do for leisure, there's no leisure time. I mean, that's historically ignorant. Anyway, The Handmaid's Tale certainly was more recent. The heck? A Hindu yogi. Born in 203? Get me out of here, man. Okay, classical music. Erickson, more recent. The Call of Cthulhu, more recent. Lincoln Memorial. This is a tough one because this dude died in like 1870. This thing looks like it took a long time to build, honestly. I'm going to... 1922. The Republic of Texas. We're looking at pre-1876. Chongqing, China. I mean, this got to be like negative 700. Honestly, get out of my face. Walter Scott. 1771. The House of Plantagenet. We're talking, this is like 1300s. Prince Adolphus, the Duke of Cambridge. That's not, you can't trick me, that's Elvis Presley. That's Elvis Presley and Conan O'Brien. This is a tough one. I think this guy, who's dressed more modern? It's tough. I mean, this painting looks worse. But people were like best at art around like the 1600s, and then they got really bad for like a long time. And they only got good when the Bored Ape Yacht Club came out like this year. So this is tough for me. I don't know the answer to this. They look so close, and I have no idea who either of them are. But here's my thinking, okay? Walter, modern-ass name. Prince Adolphus, old-ass name. Son of a bitch. I'm dying, man. They're off by 3 years. Citigroup, easy. The World's Fair. It's post-1812, come on. The Tempest by William Shakespeare. Now we're cruising. Madhvacharya, a Hindu philosopher who founded the Dvaita Vedanta school. Probably we're going way back. The Grand Duchy of Moscow, 1300s. KJ Apa, New Zealand actor. Probably more recent. Lucky Strike Tobacco, mid-1800s. Fair enough. That one got me good, but that was tough, man. Okay, Dacia. The Balkan kingdom of the Dacians. Gandhara. Ancient is easy. We go back. Order of Chivalry, medieval era. I'm going to say 900s. Chess, 1500s. This is actually a New York Times opinion columnist. This is what, if you have a blue check mark and you write editorials for the New York Times, this is what your Twitter avatar looks like. Either that or he just got hired by Polygon. Anyway, you must be here. Malik ibn Anas, a hadith compiler. Look, I'm not trying to disrespect. It looks to me like Malik Anas. in this meaty portion of the curve, okay, the annexation of Crimea by the Russian Federation, it's like 2014. The Bosporan Kingdom, a former country in the Bosporus. I feel like if I had great eyes, I could read this. The Scythians were like in this period. Oh, you Levy, this dude is dripped out, man. Are you seeing this? Holy, I'm putting them in negative 6,000 or something. Is actually Gwyn. This is a boss that looks scary in Dark Souls, but is actually easy because he's just got a sword. But, like, the drip is insane, man. He's dressed like Orson Welles. Amphibia TV series. We're going to put that in here. That, honestly, I want to become the Joker. How am I supposed to know that shit? Myrna Loy. Certainly here. Academy Award for Best Director. We're going to say that this is from this portion. The Sagrada Familia, large unfinished basilica in Barcelona. I believe that was started in the 1930s, 1882, not even close. I'm failing, man. I'm failing. Take that. British 5-piece vocal pop group. I'm going to say that Rabindranath Tagore was probably born before 1990. Wham! Probably formed mid-70s. Othello, pre-1861. Gallienus, way back. The Kingdom of Württemberg. Can I just say, without trying to be offensive, easily the worst flag that has ever existed for any country in history. Best flag? Come on. This is here. That pains me. Nicholas I of Russia would have been born pre-1861. I was right. The June Rebellion ended in July around here. All right, I am stupid. Flatland, a book by Edwin Abbott. The author so nice they named him twice. Marie de Medici. Who's going to be my Medici family? Queen of France, second wife of King Henry IV. Early. Scipio Africanus. Man's got no damn nose. Second life. Emile Durkheim. French sociologist. This just screams 1800s. Adam Lambert. 1982. Josh Brolin. 1971. Thorstein Veblen, American academic. This is actually the guy who played the bad in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. His name is Lee Van Cleef. This is a very tough one for me. I'm going to say between Durkheim and Flatland. Look, I'm not trying to be insensitive. If you can't laugh at this photo, like, you have to grow a sense of humor. What is this? I guess it's like a priceless historical artifact. But come on, man. He's just the guy. It's got to be before Scipio Africanus. Yeah, easily. Parlophone, the German-British record label. This reeks of the 1910s. The Visigoths. Post-Roman kingdom in Iberia. We're going to be looking right here. The Linux kernel. Xbox Series X. Oh my God, I'm cruising. The Who. Definitely founded before Josh Brolin was alive. Siddhartha, the novel by Hermann Hesse. I'm fucked again. They're all in Hermann Hesse. Are you... When did you live? I'm going to say the 1800s because it's freaking packed, man. I'm putting you here. 1990, not even close, man. Okay, Middle Kingdom of Egypt. 1100s. BC. Okay, it all fell apart at the end. We can do this. The Berlin Conference. Not sweating it, okay? Mehmed III. Way earlier. Royal Opera House. In the middle. British rule in Burma. Here. Charles Coughlin. That's John Goodman. Catholic priest, radio commentator. If he's a radio commentator, let's say he's famous in the early 1930s. He was 55. He was born in 1875. Slap in the face. Okay, Shirley MacLaine. We knew that one. That's a gimme. Foreigner, probably founded in the early 70s. Get this off of my screen, man! You're gonna get me in trouble. The Folketing, Parliament of Denmark. I can't come up with an answer for this, okay? The Parliament of Denmark. It's named like something that's old as dirt. I'm going to say it's... No, because there was there was the Kalmar Union and the Livonian Order and all this sorts of stuff in this region. This has got to be from here. I'm a genius. Adobe? Post-foreigner? Jesse James, entrepreneur. This is the motorcycle guy, right? He's got to be in between Shirley MacLaine and foreigner. Kellogg's, early 1900s. Utopia by Sir Thomas More. This is 1300s to 1500s. I'm insane. The Portrait of a Lady Not on Fire. I literally have no clue. I'm going to say here. Okay, fair enough. Media Wiki. Easy. Auld Lang Syne, a Robert Burns poem. Robbie Burns. Set to traditional melody. 1800s Scotland. 1800s are packed, man. Ah, come on. Dude, a lot of stuff happened in the 19th century and the 18th century. This shit is crazy. Run me back. Knights Templar. Sam Giancana. Joey Bishop. How am I supposed to know this shit, man? St. Peter's Basilica. There's no way they were building this shit in the pre-1100s. Let's put it here. Okay, that was close, but the Macintosh, we got that. Watergate felon. Okay, so this dude was 63 when Watergate happened in 1975. So he was born in 1912. Holy crap. The British Indian Army must be created in this 400-year period. The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. Well, the Hound of the Baskervilles was 1902, so it must be in here. The Kargil War ended. Okay, that changes everything. So this is legit China. So this says this is maybe a little bit more modern. This is Pakistan. I feel like we might be looking at the early 1900s here, which scares the crap out of me. Maybe somewhere between the Macintosh and Joey Bishop. I lived through that. You'd think I would know. Some Like It Hot. The film was published in the 40s? Late 50s. Scott Weiland was probably born in the 60s. I do not know who this is. Stipe Miocic, American mixed martial artist. He looks to be in his late 30s when this photo was taken, but he's wearing a backwards Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim hat that would have been popular in the mid-2000s, indicating this is an older photo. Let's say the photo is from 2009 and he looks 35. That would put his birth date around 1974. Pringles, way back, man. There's in the 1860s. Steve Harvey, probably 63 years old, was born in 1959. I'm going 1960. Little Women. In between these two. Oh my God. We got screwed, man. We got so many like modern things like wedged in the same corridor here. William Joyce, okay. The Euler equations of fluid dynamics. There's no way they were doing this shit in the... Okay. Node.js. That's got to be like 2013. Leopold Mozart. Fake Mozart. Great Northern War. I'm going to be honest. I don't even know what this is, but it looks to be around here. Okay. Louis Tomlinson from One Direction. Lunch atop a skyscraper. That's the 30s. Gloria Stewart. Born in here. The Chicago L. After the Empire State Building. That's actually incredible. I should have gotten that. Indian mathematician. Honestly, I'm just looking at this stuff. This does not look that impressive to me. A minus B equals B? Yeah, no kidding. Duh. I mean, that's like so easy. Am I insane? This doesn't look hard at all. My kid could paint that energy. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, if you got 10 minus 7, of course B is going to equal 7. I mean, yeah. Anyway, when was it? I don't know. A long time ago. Dude, honestly, this should have been like negative 5,000 if you want me to be impressed. William Adolphe Bouguereau, French academic painter. This dude was like, well, he's painting textbooks. Makes no sense to me. Pop me down right here. The Divine Comedy, 1500s. Paraguayan War. We know this. We had it before. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, run me back. Stellan Skarsgård, also known as Baron Harkonnen, probably is younger than the Bektashi order. Crown of Aragon. It's close, but Halim Hatun, mother of the Ottoman Sultan. This flag is a lemon, man. It's driving me crazy. Your lemon with ketchup, sir? Here. Electronic cigarette. Here. Discovered. Juliette Lewis. This is tough. She's been around a long time. I bet she's older than the cigarette. I don't know what I'm talking about. Whatever, just drop them. Edgar Allan Poe, drop them. Australian Army, drop them. Augustine of Hippo, drop them. Second Opium War, drop them. Ah! Okay, slow down. Filippo Brunelleschi, the German colonial empire, after. Chrysler, after. Nur Jahan, Padshah Begum of the Mughal Empire, in the middle. St. James Palace, here. That hurts. Leni Riefenstahl, early 1900s. Pope, created. Fucking like 0? I mean, this guy's not 2,000 years old, but the office of papacy, sure. Ethan Allen, American general. I'm going to be honest. This dude looks like he's from the American Revolution. So let's assume they built them different back then. I think that he was probably in his 30s in the 1770s. So he was born 1740s. Dolph Lundgren. Rocky IV, he was probably 28. It came out in 1986. I'm going to say that you were born in 1958. French Air and Space Force. Air and Space Force? Come on. It's got to be here then. And this is the Royal Air Force shit all over again. Let me guess. They had their Air Force in 1909. 9 years before the British did. Everyone thought I was so stupid for assuming that it was in this period. And then they added space later without, christening a new organization. So stupid, man. Hell's Angels. Multi-million-dollar air spectacle. Isn't this a Howard Hughes movie? It's got to be from around here. The Kingdom of Castile. 1100s. Pablo Neruda, Chilean poet, diplomat, and politician. In here. Oh. It's probably born, right? It's probably born. I can't stop playing, man. Eden Gardens. Definitely post-Acadia. Sir Gawain in the Green Knight. Definitely prior. Sean Connery. I'm going to assume that he was born in 1924. Stephen, King of England. He couldn't have been one of the good kings. You don't hear that much about Stephen. And his most important piece of artwork is a Charlie Brown drawing where he's holding a gingerbread house. So I'm gonna say he's probably in this period where they were like, we don't really know what we're doing. I was right. I was just right for the wrong reasons. Psycho. That pains me a great deal. The Wehrmacht. This is gonna be like 1932. Michael Hutchence from INXS would have been born after 1935. The Parliament of Denmark was in the early 1800s. Mauritania. In here. I'm bad again. I'm just genuinely bad again. Lithuanian language in 1515. Archaeological culture, way early. Moses in Islam, in between. The Rijksmuseum. It's the oldest museum in the world. I'm going to say it's younger than Lithuania's language, though. Maybe it's the largest museum in the world. First folio of Shakespeare, around here. War of the Three Kingdoms. Isn't the War of the Three Kingdoms, isn't this like Chinese history? This just looks like three Tom Bombadils chilling. It's the same damn dude. You know what this looks like? This looks like when every podcast does a live show. This is what comes out onto the stage. So true, so true. I don't know. I feel like maybe this is... I'm going to take a lark. I think it's here. All right. I don't know who Pamela Adlon is, but she's definitely younger than 220. Basilica in Bethlehem. We got a nice little window here. We know it's going to be around there. An Indian national holiday, Republic Day. It's got to be in the 1950s. University of Cambridge. We know we're going like way back. Western Front of World War I. It's 1914. Oh, ended. Okay, fair enough. Jack Dempsey. Born. Famous boxer from the 50s. I'm going to say he's born in the 30s. All right, I was substantially off. Howard Hughes. This is actually Orlando Bloom, just for the record. That's Legolas. He was famous in his 40s, born in the late 1880s. Northeastern University. Portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer. Klimt. It's Klimt. It's earlier. What? Gwyneth Paltrow, younger. Roberto Rossellini. I'm going off, man. Whatever. It probably could have told you that the wall was not there. But, okay, the Troubles in 1998. Electrolysis. Earlier. The Reinheitsgebot describes rules for manufacturing German beer. That's a damn stamp, man. No, wait, this is the picture. The picture might not be representative of what they're asking for. Tammany Hall. I don't know what this is. Doesn't matter. Gray's Anatomy, 1800s. John the Baptist, we're going back. Dangerous Liaisons, a literary work. It's written in French, so let's assume that we're probably in this region. I'm a genius. The Ottoman Caliphate, created in the 1300s. It's 1 year. How am I supposed to know that? I don't even know what this means. The Allies of World War II, grouping of the victorious country. Okay, so when was the Allied Alliance created? 1939. Turns out I do know what this means. Georgia as a country, we're going 15, 17 or later. 1991. Okay, that one I threw because I was mad at myself. That one I could have gotten. The Women's March on Versailles, 1700s. Paradoxal. 7th and 8th century temples. I'm going to say this is around the 7th or 8th century. Yazid I, the second caliph of the Umayyad Caliphate, after 800. Gargantua and Pantagruel. 5 novels by Francois Rabelais. This looks Canterbury Tales, 1200. Guillotine. Prior to the French Revolution. What the fuck? Carl Urban? Okay, Carl Urban is probably 48 now. He was born in 1973. Monte Cassino, a rocky hill with a monastery in the southeast of Rome, Italy. I saw this in Assassin's Creed, so it must be older. I got 1 or 2 more in me. High Renaissance, 1527. Dude, look at this guy. Luca Pacioli, the Italian father of accounting. Why does it look like an album cover from the 1980s? This is not Luca Pacioli. This is Oswald of Kareem. He just needs to stretch his arms out. I mean, look, there's no way accounting existed before the Renaissance. What? Okay, when was an atypical form of encephalitis lethargica, ended? When medicine existed? Okay. King James Bible. Monte Cassino, 500. The Rurik dynasty that ruled in Kievan Rus. 700s. The Haji Ali Dargah, a Dargah in India. 1800s. Not even close. Pacific War. I mean, this is in the 30s. Oh, ended. My mistake, but was still. 13 colonies were created. I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't know the answer to this question. I'm going to say it's the 1600s. Close. Robert Moses, American urban planner. I'm going to say you were born in this corridor. National Geographic, that's tough. I'm going to say you're in this corridor too. George Gurdjieff. This is a tough one for me because he was like rocking the baldness. And people were like not really rocking the baldness. They were rocking the horseshoe until very recently. Maybe here? University of Birmingham. You asked me to give you a British university. It's like not possible. I'm going to say Birmingham, you know, we've got a rich and storied history. I mean, it's no Oxford or Cambridge. Let's put it here. 1900. It's younger than the university I went to. And my country is like 3,000 years younger than England. So, okay, sure. Henry Percy Hotspur, English noble. This is not an English noble. This is a napkin. MacBook Air, post 1852. Jonathan Swift, much like Ben Jonson. A lot of UK writers also could be confused with sprinters in name, huh? Anyway, you got to be here. Commandant of the Marine Corps, members of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. I'm going to guess this is the early 40s. This is just an honest question to you. You had a Marine Corps in England in the 1700s? In the U.S., in the U.S. I mean, that's even more shocking to me. So you didn't have an Air Force in England until 1918. You still had planes, but you said that's not necessary. In the U.S., they were like, we have a Navy. We have a Navy already, but we also need Marines for when they get out of the boat. Then they enter a different jurisdiction. The world's so fucked up, man. Nobody else see it. Anyway, the White Roses, this is World War I era. If you were a conscientious objector to the war in England, nice-looking young ladies would come up to you and pin a white rose on your lapel so that you got publicly shamed by everybody else. So you're like around, okay, sorry, it's World War II. The Chainsmokers, American EDM duo. World War 23. Okay, hold on. I mean, they got to be post-2008. Republic Records. Let's go 90s. Christmas Tree. That's got to be, that reeks of the 1800s. The year 1000. Elsa Pataki. Born pre-95. Jehoshaphat. Fourth king of the kingdom of Judah. Way back. Mysterious Island by Jules Verne, right in this 100-year period. Corsica, created in this area. 1972, huh? 1972. Okay, hold on. This is 2019. I can do this. This was before 2019. Les Invalides, pre-2019. Megatherium went extinct. I don't know. Again, probably like 50,000 years ago. William Henry Vanderbilt. If he's American, we're looking at this region. Franz Mesmer. It looks like Anderson Cooper? What are you talking about? It looks like Anderson Cooper. I don't want to say anything rude. I'm just like, he doesn't look like Anderson Cooper. You got to be post 1671. Yeah. Dan Daria. You got to be born in the 1910s. Al-Azhar University. Very tough one. I'm gonna say is old. It was even older. Aristotle. Thanks for the gimme. Lutz Graf Schwerin von Krosigk. Born in the 1880s. Holy cow. This Tom Waits, man. Sergei Eisenstein? Sorry. But why is he dressed like Harry Potter, man? Okay, just 1 second. Soviet filmmaker. Was making movies in the USSR. 1912 to 1991. This looks like it could be from the 40s. He looks like he's in his mid-30s, but aged a little differently than people do these days. I'm going to say you were born pre-1907, but post-1887. Gabby Giffords. Definitely here. That's a gimme. DuckTales ended. This is fucked, man. Because didn't they make a new one that just happened? Never mind. Scott Joplin. Man, this one is hard for me. Because I think he's somewhere in between 87 and 98. Nope. Katie Sagal, also known as Leela from Futurama, also known as Peggy from Married with Children, must be born, say, around the mid-50s. Richard Rogers. I'm going to say you're in the 1910s. We got one more. I do a lot better when there's people. It's true. Like, look at all the faces we got lined up here. Mediz. Gregorian chant. Gregorian chant is newer. The Voynich manuscript. This is hell. It's the oldest piece of recorded literature. What the fuck? This one, it doesn't count. Go again. We go again. Lincoln Memorial, 1922. Modi was born in the late 30s. The Thinker, certainly post 130. Majapahit, a historical country, certainly pre-1882. The Galileo affair, we're going to go 1500s. Civil disobedience by Thoreau is around the mid-1800s. Folsom State Prison created. $1800s. Oh my God. You're going to tell on me? That hurts, man. It hurts. Walt Disney, one of the animation studios. Post 22? Work by Herodotus. Okay. Pre 130. The Metamorphosis. Post 82. Reuters. Post 23. Not even close, man. Not even close. Apple TV. Now we're talking. Portia de Rossi was probably 43. No, was probably 36 during Arrested Development's original run in 2004. 1968. Sint Maarten, Island Nation. Yeah, I got no idea. 2010. Island. Did you see the video of The cameo of the Island Boys that are like, don't discharge Sergeant Vasquez. He's an island boy. And I know he got a DUI, but he can change. Don't discharge him. He's an island boy. It's insane. So I guess somebody used, they paid the Island Boys on Cameo to record a video to send to their supervisor to not get him discharged from the military after he got a DUI. Oh, okay. Dude, I gotta do one more. Come on. The Turkish lira. Current events. Sui Dynasty. Way back. Singer Corporation. That was old as shit. I gotta be honest. Oh my god. Red Dwarf. Okay. Utopia. We're way back. Amen. I'm in hell. I'm okay. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I did my best. Oh man. All right, when we come back, let's do some Mario 64 runs. Let's try to set a PB and then finish with Vampire Survivors today. See you in like 3 minutes. Hang on, I'm going to eat this single serving cheese. A little early today. You eat a lot of small cheeses? I eat like, like one a day. It's not that many. That's more than most people. Yeah, I'm sure if you looked at, the entire human population, most people have a consumption habit that is more than most people. Just run the numbers. I mean, if you drink like a glass of orange juice a day, you're probably drinking more than the average person. So true. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. I mean, I'm just trying to run the numbers. I would say there's no doubt. I definitely eat. I mean, let me give you some things I eat more than the average person. Skyr, granola, no question. Cheese, cold brew coffee. Tortillas. I hate to admit this, but this is honest. I bet I eat more beef right now than the average person. But again, I'm loath to admit that for environmental purposes. But I mean, it's really easy and convenient to just like cook a steak and then either have like a steak in a salad or slice it up, put it in a tortilla, have some tacos, etc., etc. What if we brought it down to your demographic? Okay, if we were talking Canadian males age 30 to 35, I bet I drink less coffee than average. I have a coffee a day. I bet I still eat more tortillas. I bet I still eat more cheese. Can I hit you with something that's going to surprise you? Definitely, I eat less bread than the average person in my demo. I think I probably have 2 slices of bread a week on average. I do eat a lot of Brussels sprouts. There's no way I'm not in like the upper 10% of Brussels sprout consumers. No, don't DMCA me. Don't DMCA me. Soup is goated. Honestly, like I'm off soup. We went through that like 6-week period where both me and my wife were sick on and off for like I don't know, I guess 6 weeks. I'm off it for like I would say probably for 6 months. I will not willfully eat a soup. If someone offers me soup, I will, and it's good, I'll consume it. I would be happy to have it, but I do not wish to. I do not wish to make it for myself anymore for a little bit, just for a little bit. Do you still use the Instant Pot? I do. Anytime I make soup, I tend to use the Instant Pot. Just because it gets to that, it gets to soupiness that much faster. I'm aware of the fact that you could, because I've done it many times, you could just get a stock pot, you could just cook your soup and your stew and simmer it for, a good length of time and it'll come together, especially if you use like a roux. But the Instant Pot, man, it just gets there like 4 times faster.